It's been so long since I've posted on YouTube that I looked into the mic. Like instead of the camera, I looked into the mic, like thought I had eye contact with you. It's so weird. Anyway, today I want to talk about how you can get started with animation. And I will have a couple of options, like almost free and then cheap and then cheap slash expensive, depending on what you're choosing. Okay, so almost free is just using a pencil and some paper. I will demonstrate here on the screen, but I didn't have printer paper. That's what I would have chosen if I had it, but we don't own a printer, so we don't have, those just plain sheets of paper lying around. So I'm using this post-it notes thing, but it's the same like principle. You just draw a frame and then you like flip like back and forth, and you can like draw the next one and then the next one. And it is a little hard because it can be a little tricky to get them to line up perfectly, like when you take the pictures of it. And the thing you're just gonna need for this also is just a phone or a camera of some sort to take pictures of each frame, and afterwards you can put it into CapCut or any other program you're using to edit it, and just put them together and make sure they are the same length, each photo. And you can play around with the length to get some timing in and stuff like that. I'll also show one of my very first animations I did, because that was on just normal printer paper and a pencil. And also make sure when you're taking the pictures, make sure the phone and each paper is in the same place. You might need to mark a little spot with some tape or something to make sure you can put every sheet in the right place. I know most of you probably have a phone, and there's a few apps out there where you can animate, but if you don't have a pen for it, you'll have to use your finger, and it will probably be pretty finicky and not the best result, but it's cheap and it's a good way to maybe just experiment a little bit with animation, see if it's something you like. And yeah, I think that's the cheapest way to get started because it's free and almost everybody has a phone these days. So the last category is more like it can be budget friendly, but it can also be expensive depending on what you're choosing, and also depending on what tools you already have or devices you already have. So you can get an iPad. Now, if you already have an iPad, then it's just about the program, but I just want to talk about if you don't have an iPad, what it will cost, what price range it is. So if you have a really tight budget, I would recommend getting just the iPad 10. I think it's the newest regular iPad in the line. You can get it brand new from around $391, or you can probably find it a bit cheaper than that on the used market. Now, if you have a big budget and you're really sure that an iPad is a good idea for you, you can always go out and get an iPad Pro. I have an iPad Pro. It's the 2021 model, but I think there's 2 more models after that. So depending on what model you're going for, it's gonna be more expensive or more cheap. It seems like the newest model, brand new, is around $1,700. So you gotta have a bigger budget for that. But again, you can also always look at if you can buy it refurbished or something. Oh yeah, and another thing, if you have an iPad, you will probably also need to have an Apple Pencil. I think you can get a third-party one that's not that expensive, but I really recommend the Apple Pencil. It's a really nice experience. Now for the program, I will really recommend Procreate Dreams. I think that's the best animation program for iPad right now. And it's a one-time purchase and it's really not that expensive. I'll put the price over here or something. But yeah, I feel like it's really worth the money. I've used it for almost all of my recent animations until I switched to something else, and I will come to that. But if you already have an iPad and you don't have enough money to spend on a program, even Procreate Dreams, you can always look up free animation programs for iPad, because there is a few. Like Flipperclip that I mentioned for the phone is also on the iPad, so you can always look into those if that's better for you. Now the other option, if you have a PC. If you don't have a PC, this will be very expensive, because then you'll have to get free major things. But if you have a PC, you could always get a drawing display or even just a drawing tablet. Like those without a screen, they're way more affordable, obviously, but if you can afford a screen, I would recommend that. It's a really nice experience. But a really good drawing display often costs as much as an iPad Pro if you really want to splurge. But you can really get these displays and tablets in all price ranges. There's a lot of options with animation software for PC. There's Moho, there's OpenTunes, there's Toon Boom Harmony. Even programs like Krita and Photoshop and Clip Studio also has animation features. And these programs can really range in price. Like Krita is free and Clip Studio is somewhat affordable, I think. Toon Boom Harmony is a little bit more expensive, but the one I use is probably one of the most expensive ones. It's called TV Paint. I stumbled upon it because I follow Aaron Blaise. He's the one who directed Brother Bear, and he has worked with Disney, and he has been using that program ever since he left Disney, I think. It's a really professional program. It has a lot of great features and I love it so far. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and for me it was really worth the money. But that's also a little topic I will go into now. It's like, how do you choose what route you're gonna take? Should you get an iPad? Should you just animate on paper? Should you get a PC, get a display, get a expensive program? How should you choose? I have 4 pointers that you should really think about when you are choosing this. The first one is budget. What is your budget? Do you have enough money for an iPad Pro? Should you save up for an iPad Pro? Would you be happy with just a regular iPad, or would you really be happy with a display? It's like, do some research, find out what is possible within your budget, and like decide if you should save up a little bit or just buy the cheapest option or whatever your budget is. And to figure out if you should save up for something, I would say, how passionate are you? Like, have you done animation before? Is it just something you want to try? Is it something you want to do professionally? Because if it's just something you want to try, I would really recommend either getting those free apps, either on your phone or on the iPad if you have one, or just try it on paper and see if it's something you like. Because animation, like, we can have so many ideas in our head we want to bring to life, but animation takes a lot of time and also a lot of skill. So if you are a beginner, you might be a little discouraged and you might find out that it's not something for you anyway. So then it might be better if you just test it out before you go out and spend a lot of money on gear. And yeah, then is it a hobby or is it a job? Is it something you want to do as a career? Because if it's just a hobby, I would say an iPad Pro or just a regular iPad would do fine with Procreate Dreams, because you can actually do up to a couple of minutes in it. But if it's a hobby, it's probably shorter animations you want to do, and then it will work fine. However, if it's something you want to make into your career or job or something, or if you're just really passionate, I would say go for a display or just a tablet or something that you can put up to the computer, because on the PC you have a lot more options with programs, and the programs are just, you know, that little bit more professional. I love so many of the features in TV Paint. It just makes my process very faster than working on the iPad. So yeah, if it's a career thing, I would go for a display. And the last thing is, what tools do you already have? Because if you already have an iPad, I would say just go for Procreate Dreams, at least for now. And if you have a phone, go for Flipperclip. And if you only have pen and paper, maybe just try that out first. And do you have a PC? And maybe also already a drawing display, because you're already drawing digitally and you just have these things, and then go for a good program. But I know it can be hard to choose, and also just to get started. This video is not about how to get into animation like that. It's more like how to get the right tools and gear for animation. If it's something that has your interest, I will do a video about how to more get into animating and what exercises you can do, and like how I got into animation and how I slowly improved and all that. So that will be in a separate video. But if you like this one, hit the like button. It always helps. I really want to continue making these videos. I do enjoy it. I just have a hard time keeping up, and I have a hard time getting up with ideas. So I do struggle with having some periods where I don't post on YouTube. But if you want to like catch up with me almost daily, you can follow me on Instagram. I'll put it up here, and there's also in the description with links and, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I had a little bit of problems with some frame rate in the beginning, but I kind of fixed it in like halfway. But yeah, again, it's been so long. I hope this was helpful. I can't wait to see you get started with animation. Animation is such a underrated craft, and it is the backbone of many of our childhoods. So cherish it. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!